Wait a minute. Was Piers Morgan reading when he answered the question for Andrew Tate? Was he reading a script when he did it?
I said that because that actually, hard, Andrew. You can simply say, Piers, you know what? With the benefit of hindsight, I wish I hadn't said it like that. And if a 26-year-old woman's watching, I'm sorry I said that, because that actually is blatantly misogynist. And even though that's a view held by other parts of the world, it's not a view I share. Now, I would...
He was looking down at his cue cards, reading Andrew Tate's answer. He asked Andrew Tate a question, and he had an already prepared answer of what Andrew Tate should say, and he literally read it on the air. Like this is an embarrassment of an interview. So Andrew Tate just had a sit-down discussion with Piers Morgan, who just recently made Jordan Peterson cry. Well, not really, but you know the story. Check my channel if you didn't see that one. It was interesting. Well, it's all over the internet. But anyway, let's get into this one. Piers Morgan in a discussion with Andrew Tate. He grilled him on some questions. Let's see if any of it made sense. Let's go.
Do you respect women?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Do you think that 18, 19-year-old women are more attractive than 25-year-old women?
I think there's attractive people. That's a loaded question. I don't know.
Well, it's not really, is it?
I can't.
You know why I'm asking it?
Of course I do, but I can't sit here and
say... For the benefit of viewers who don't know why I'm asking, you said this. In general, this is also one of the reasons men find youth attractive. You want to blow up the internet? I'll blow up the internet right effing now. The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. People say, oh, you can't say that, but yes, I can. A 19-year-old is more attractive than a 26-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why. Because that 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been effed and dumped more times, more arguments, more mess, more for me to clean up. That is misogyny.
Why?
Because you are encouraging a mindset about 25-year-old women that makes them sound out to be infinitely less desirable than 18, 19-year-olds, and having effectively been having too much sex to be taken in a more respectful way.
That would...
Wow. Here's the deal with that. Everybody can fully understand this very simple concept of a man being viewed as more valuable if he makes more money than another man. Yes, it could be something great about the guy that makes less money. That is true. But in general, we understand when a woman says a guy who makes $250,000 a year is more attractive to her than a guy who makes $50,000 a year. We understand that. Why do we have to have a debate over why a younger woman, in most cases, on the aggregate, on average, is going to be more attractive than an older woman?
Encouraging a mindset about 25-year-old women that makes them sound out to be infinitely less desirable than 18, 19-year-olds, and having effectively been having too much sex to be taken in a more respectful way.
That would, well, firstly, even if that was the case, that wouldn't be misogyny.
Well, what did you mean by what you said?
That's not misogyny because it's not anti-women. I'm saying that an 18 or a 19-year-old woman would be more desirable.
Pretty anti-25-year-old woman.
Anti-25-year-old women we can argue, but not misogyny.
Well, that's misogyny.
No, it's not.
Oh, being anti any woman at all is misogyny.
Not when I'm...
What? Being anti any woman at all is misogyny? What if you're anti-women who do bad things? What if you're anti-women who drown their children? What if you're anti-women who divorce their husband and break up families for frivolous reasons? What like, you just can't make a statement like that to say being anti any woman at all. Because I'm not reaching here, because he's the one who said any woman at all. Or let's even go further, any type of woman, any particular group of women at all is misogynistic if you're anti. I think, okay, you're clearly arguing from a place of trying to vilify the person that you're arguing with when you're making statements like that, because there's no way you can actually hold that position. And if he does hold that position, then logic has left the room at that point. All possible logic has left the room at that point.
No, it's not.
Being anti any woman at all is misogyny.
Not when I'm saying that women are beautiful and attractive at a certain age and saying that age.
You're saying 18, 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25.
Well, than ageist, perhaps, but misogynistic, absolutely.
Is that
not.
But you just accepted it was misogyny.
No, I didn't. You said it was misogyny. I'm telling you, no, it's not.
If a 26-year-old woman is watching this and has heard those comments,
yeah,
would you just say to her, look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that?
No, I won't. I will say that I am sorry that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world.
That doesn't mean you're sorry.
No, I'm not sorry. That's the point I'm making. I'm sorry if that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world that believe that, and I was mediating for a conversation.
Parts of the world that believe that about 26-year-old women are parts of the world where women are not allowed out on their own.
That's a conversation.
They have to wear full burqas.
Well, that's a conversation.
They're not allowed.
He first started asking him. He tried to just bait him into saying sorry, and he wasn't going to say sorry. And good on him, because he doesn't have to apologize for what he said. Now, my personal opinions and views aside, 19-year-old, 25-year-old, tomato, I don't see much of a difference there. But if somebody says that they find 18 and 19-year-olds more attractive, it is what it is. He's trying to get him to say sorry to 26-year-olds. He refused to say sorry to 26-year-olds. Then the next step was to try to associate him with Sharia law and putting women in sheets. That was phase 3 or 4 or whatever phase of this thing that Piers Morgan is on.
Well, that's a conversation.
They're not allowed to drive cars.
That's nothing to do with it.
But is that the kind of world for women that you?
I was mediating a conversation.
No, I'm asking you what you think.
Look at Andrew Tate's face right now. I paused it at the perfect moment. He's basically saying, that's the part of the world where women are not allowed to drive cars. Is that the type of world that you think that we should all live in?
I don't live in a country where that happens.
So you're using that as the excuse for why you're not sorry for saying it.
It's not an excuse.
Is that there are parts of the world where this is fine?
My friend.
So my question to you is, well, do you think it's fine?
I don't think it's fine. I live in a world where...
You don't think it's fine?
The reason
this isn't that hard, Andrew. You can simply say, Piers, you know what? With the benefit of hindsight, I wish I hadn't said it like that. And if a 26-year-old woman's watching, I'm sorry I said that, because that actually is blatantly misogynist. And even though that's a view held by other parts of the world, it's not a view I share. Now, I would respect you more if you said that than if you try and say...
Wait a minute. Was Piers Morgan reading when he answered the question for Andrew Tate? Was he reading a script when he did it?
I said that because that actually... hard, Andrew. You can simply say, Piers, you know what? With the benefit of hindsight, I wish I hadn't said it like that. And if a 26-year-old woman's watching, I'm sorry I said that, because that actually is blatantly misogynist. And even though that's a view held by other parts of the world, it's not a view I share. Now, I would...
He was looking down at his cue cards, reading Andrew Tate's answer. Y'all saw that, right? He asked Andrew Tate a question, and he had an already prepared answer of what Andrew Tate should say, and he literally read it on the air. Like this is an embarrassment of an interview. This is ridiculous. And again, I keep going back to this. Look at Andrew Tate's face. Look, this is ridiculous. At the end of the day, Piers Morgan is basically charging and trying to convict Andrew Tate of being a jerk. Like, at best, you could say that. Andrew Tate, I think you're a jerk. I think you're a big fat meanie. Like, that's pretty much what's going on here. That's pretty much the gist of it. Andrew Tate's a jerk, and that's what Piers Morgan. If he could build a better case on that than trying to lump him in with wanting to wrap women in sheets and have them walking around in beekeeper suits and not able to drive a car and got I don't know, look down and walk 10 steps behind their husband or whatever the rules are over there. Instead of trying to associate him with that, instead of trying to call him misogynistic because he thinks 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds or whatever it is, instead of trying to call him misogynistic about that, instead of trying to get him to apologize for it, just say, yeah, Andrew Tate, you said a lot of mean things and I think you're a jerk. And then Andrew Tate can say, okay, I accept that. And now I'm doing what Piers Morgan did. I'm reading Andrew Tate's answer for him. Like this was an embarrassment of an interview, and I'm going to wrap it up right there. But thank y'all for listening. Like and subscribe. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm out of here. This was